All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Athlete Artist Show. I am the artist Kyle Forge alongside the athlete professional hockey player Zach Boychuk. Big things happening right now. Obviously, last week we finished off the Stanley Cup Finals. Florida won. Now we went straight into the NHL Draft offseason. Some big signings, some big re-signings, some big draft moments. Chucky, do you want to start with the draft or some of these re-signings?
Yeah, probably start with the re-signings. I
Let's
think
do it.
there's obviously some big ones going on right now, and even last week, I don't know if we touched on the Duchesne one, but I think everybody's talking Leafs, talking Tavares, everybody's talking Florida, talking Bennett. So a lot of teams taking some hometown discounts to
Yeah.
re-sign and get ahead of Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned last week. We mentioned Taves last week, and before we get into Bennett and Tavares, another Dallas signing here. Jamie Benn re-signed, similar structure to what Taves signed. $1 million base salary, and then achievable bonuses for games played. It's a 500K for 20 games, 500K for 30, 500 for 50, 500 for 60, and then an additional 500K for Western Conference champs, and then another for the Stanley Cup champs. So a good amount of bonuses there for him. And then, as you mentioned, Tavares taking the hometown discount to stay in Toronto for another 4 years. Insane. Like, I remember last week you were saying he would probably go somewhere else and get 8, and he settled for just over 4.
Yeah, that's a big haircut. I think like just looking at Stamkos last year, like would he have done a similar deal? It seemed like no, he wouldn't do that and went and signed the bigger ticket in Nashville, and maybe it didn't work out because they finished in the bottom and got a
Yeah.
pretty high draft pick. But yeah, cool to see Jamie Benn come back. My buddy Bane Pettinger is his agent. I really like the deal. I know that they can only structure these deals if you're over 35,
Okay.
because the way these bonuses go, some of them you can put some of that bonus money on the cap the following year. So really cool way to structure the deals. I think Jamie Benn will play at least 60 games. He's a warrior. He'll play through any injuries, and you got to have that guy on your team. Oh, there's Crooksy creeping in here,
Oh.
and yeah, just good to see him back. You need a leader like that on your team.
Yeah, that's big for the Dallas Stars. I mean, Ben's always been like, I haven't really seen him out for injuries much really at all. So hitting that 60 games, like you said, it should be pretty easy for him. And then having a leader like that, especially with some of these younger guys that are like Jason Robertson, if he stays, and some of these other picks that Dallas has that they're developing, having Ben as they try to make a couple more playoff runs, try to get to the cup again, and before he retires, I think it's awesome to see him back in Dallas, and obviously he really loves playing there.
Yeah, and they're pretty much guaranteed to make it to the Western Finals and probably lose to Edmonton again. So he'll at least get that bonus money too.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Edmonton? They traded Evander Kane to Vancouver. Kind of, I mean, got a fourth round pick for him. I've seen mixed reactions from Oilers fans myself. Like, there's some of them that are like, get him out of there. He's a cancer in the room. A lot of people didn't like that he didn't stay to shake Florida's hand after the cup. And then I've seen guys that are like, oh, he actually contributed. He did produce a little bit outside of all of his off ice antics that he's been known for. Vancouver fans, I've also seen a mixed reaction. Myself, I think they were great to get rid of him. Clears up some cap space if they do want to try to re-sign or extend McDavid, and then also or bring in somebody else for next year, which I think they do need as well. So, I mean, you're sending Kane to an already turmoil kind of locker room after who knows how much of a mess that still is after JT Miller left, and it's like it's that Vancouver locker room is a big question mark, I think, and especially with Kaner going in there now.
Yeah, I saw Trevor Linden talking about it. I don't know if he's still with the team. He's obviously like a legendary Vancouver Canuck, former Vancouver Canuck, but he's like, I don't know about that pickup with the locker room and how it's going to jive. But obviously, Evander Kane's a really good player. You know, 2 or 3 years ago, he was scoring 30 goals, and I don't know if it's injuries and stuff that happened on the sidelines now this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could see the frustration in playoffs that he's not playing to what he used to. So he's going back to Vancouver. I think he played junior there, and he might also be from there. So it might be the resurgence that he needs. And Edmonton clears some cap space. They obviously got to re-sign Bouchard this year, and I think right now they only have like 8 forwards signed or something ridiculous. So I don't know how. I think they only have 2 million left in cap space. Not much. Like once you sign Bouchard, they only have like 2 or 2.7. So I don't know how you're gonna get like four decently good forwards with only 2.7 mil. But Corey
Yeah.
Perry's got to re-sign, and there might be an influx of youth coming through Edmonton unless they can get rid of Skinner or clear some more cap space.
Yeah, for sure. Depending on how much Bouchard re-signs for, they've got, according to Puckpedia, as of recording this, they've got 12.3. So they sign him for that $10 million. You're right on the money there with $2 million left to re-sign Perry and a few other guys. So you're not going to get much depth for just 2 million. Especially, I mean, Perry played pretty well, especially in playoffs. So I think I don't know how much he would take. He's probably 1 to 1.5. I mean, I think I don't know if the CBA kicks in this year, but the minimum league salary is increasing to $1 million. I think that's probably going to start next year, but he's probably $1 million to 1.5, even with a team discount type of thing. So that does not leave much left over for another three forwards at depth forwards at that too.
No, and they're talking about getting a goalie too to
Yeah,
to be another tandem with Skinner. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. They're gonna have to make some big trades, or I saw they might get rid of Arvidsson, and
yeah,
they just signed Trent Frederick to a 8-year deal, and
yeah.
I think he
Weird
had
one.
like one goal in the last 30 games of the season. So yeah, crazy things going on in Edmonton.
Yeah, I saw that was extremely questionable. 3.85, 8 years is insane to me. But probably the biggest signing so far. We kind of teased it last week. The Panthers teased it during their celebrations. Sam Bennett, he's not fucking leaving.
Not fucking
Florida
leaving.
Panthers, team friendly deal, 8 times 8. We were saying he could get at least 10. He probably could have got 10, 11 if he left to go somewhere else. Stays in Florida for 8. Clearly, he wants to stay in Florida to keep winning. So that leaves a little bit more room for Marchand and Ekblad. Potentially, if one of those guys can take a really team friendly deal. But I mean, Ekblad would have to take a discount from his, I think, 7.5 to come down to like 4 or 5. And then Marshy, maybe he takes 5 or 4 or something like that, and then that leaves a little bit to re-sign their goalie too. So it's Florida's trying to finesse something, but they got Bennett back.
Yeah, and that no state tax
Yeah,
goes a long way. 8 million, you're getting quite a bit of that. So,
yeah,
and if you're making 8 million in Toronto, like Tavares, it's cut in half right away.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a good move by Bennett to go back. Gives them another chance to win some more cups and leaves a little bit of room for maybe Ekblad or Marshy. But yeah,
yeah,
Tuesday free agency is gonna be an exciting one.
yeah. It's gonna be super exciting. I'm pumped that Bennett's going back to Florida. I think. I mean, I always gave him a hard time in Calgary, but after seeing him leave it and go to Florida and really step into his game and start producing and contributing all over the ice, whether it's offensively like he did in the playoffs or just on the ice as a not an enforcer, but keeping your stars protected and sticking up for your teammates, being a team guy. I love what he's doing over there, and I really hope that they get Marshy back. I mean, those guys are just on an insane run together. and
Yeah, it'd be
I
great to see them, and they're gonna buy a Dairy Queen somewhere for sure.
yeah, I think they already did, unless Bill Zito was joking.
What do you think of Calgary? They made a couple moves this week.
Yeah, the draft I think was great. Should we did they make some trades or did we should we
Well, they
get rid of the
re-signed
draft?
today they made a big signing with Kevin Ball. He got like 30 million or something.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And then just some small minor deals last week, but
And so that's a big extension for Kevin Ball.
yeah, I think he got a 6 year, 6 year, like
5.35, yeah.
not bad.
Interesting. That's what do you think of that deal? That's a little bit overpaid, hey?
They obviously see something in him, and he's still pretty young, so they're sticking to not giving the 8 year deals, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure some free agents won't go there because of that, but
Yeah.
yeah, you you hope that he's young enough and going to be good enough that in that fifth year that it's it's a great deal
Yeah.
for the Flames.
They had a great draft pick yesterday at 18. I was at first I was really upset that they didn't try to move up higher in the draft or make a trade because I think anyone on the Flames besides Wolfie, Coronado, Zari, and Parekh are kind of expendable, especially at this stage. Especially those vets. Like obviously, I love Kadri. I think he's great, but I think you could get rid of him for something else if you were trying to move up in the draft. Same thing with Uyghur. Same thing with, I mean, obviously, no one's really going to take Huberdeau at the 10.5 that he's at for what he's been producing the last couple of years. But Cole Resney, unreal kid, lit up the dub last year in Victoria, 92 points in 62 games, 26 goals. A little bit on the smaller side. They drafted two kind of smaller forwards, which I think Resney is fine. Though I don't know too much about the kid that they took second, but I think Reshney's a great pick. He's going to University of North Dakota next year, so he's had 2 full seasons in the dub, and now he's taken that step to go develop more at the NCAA level, so it'd be interesting to see how he does next year. Are you overpaying for your pouches? With PouchConnect, you get major discounts on your pouch purchases no matter where you live, shipped right to your door. Just hold ZinCoin and unlock exclusive discounts on your favorite exotic pouches. It's simple. Stack ZinCoin, save big, and enjoy the lifestyle millions are buzzing about. PouchConnect brings real-world rewards to crypto. Join the wave, grab your ZinCoin, and start saving today at PouchConnect.com. Warning, nicotine is addictive. Therefore, nicotine pouches should not be purchased under the legal age of your jurisdiction. In the US, that's 21 years old. In Canada, depending on your province, is 18 or 19. If you don't know the legal age in your jurisdiction, please look it up before placing your order. First overall, Matt Schaefer went to the New York Islanders, and pure class move by the New York Islanders. They put the breast cancer logo on the jersey when they gave it to him. He was I didn't know until right before the draft that his mom had passed away to cancer. So really, really classy move by the team and putting that on there. And they put her initials or her name inside the jersey as well, I heard, which is it's super, super wholesome moment. You could tell he got really emotional. You could tell that everything that he does is for his mom to make her proud and dedicating the draft to her. So that was really, really awesome to see.
Yeah, that was probably the best part of the draft. I think overall, for it to start that way, so emotional and um, you know, I think in the end, the whole decentralized draft or whatever, it's kind of there's a lot of mixed reviews. I feel like a lot of the little interviews that teams were doing with their GMs and stuff were kind of awkward, but
Yeah.
that one was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome for him. But yeah, the decentralized I've heard that from what I'm seeing. I mean, I didn't like it. I talked to you a little bit yesterday. You thought the same thing. Like you just said, a little bit awkward. The only person that seemed to like it on social media was Steve Yzerman.
He was a big fan.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing or seeing. But yeah, super awkward. Like I don't think like the players are already interviewing after when they get off the stage. They go to little media table. They sit with whoever it is from whether it's from Sportsnet or someone else. But having the reporter on stage interviewing the teams on Zoom when there's a delay, it's so unnecessary, and the players just kind of standing there like,
Yeah.
"Yep, it's a real honor," blah 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 blah. Then goes and has like his real interview. It's just like okay,
Yeah, what do you say?
yeah,
Thanks for drafting me.
yeah, like
See ya.
they can have this. They're gonna have this chat privately. Like they don't need a reporter asking the general manager what they see in a kid and having like a 15-second delay while they're sitting up there waiting for him.
Yeah. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, but the other good part of the draft was when the fifth overall pick was it Brady Martin. He
Yeah,
didn't go to the draft, but his whole family was watching the draft at his farm, like he's a dairy farmer or something, and they
yeah.
put a big screen up on the John Deere tractor. Just so good.
Yeah, I saw that too. They're like, well, Brady Martin clearly made the best decision by not going to the draft. Had his own party at home. Seemed like he had a lot more fun there than people did at the draft.
Yeah.
And at first, like I was kind of judging him a little bit beforehand. I'm like, why would you not go to the draft? Like, yeah, you have farm stuff to do, but like this is your one moment. Like this is your big moment. Go to the draft. Figure out a way. Like hire people to do the work for a couple of days, whatever. But yeah, after seeing that, I was like, that's awesome. Yeah, they made the right decision by staying home. They had their entire family there. It looked like their entire family could have taken up half the draft venue itself. So having the TV on the tractor was awesome. Like clearly the family's already got money having that thing, hey?
Oh yeah, like their farm looked nice, the house looked
Yeah,
nice, like everything. I'm sure they had the money to fly everybody down to the draft,
yeah,
but what a way to make it look great. And but yeah, I guess Sportsnet would have had to have cameras like at a lot of these different locations, and so just a strange way to do the draft. But
yeah.
I guess they tried it once. We'll see if they try it again. If Stevie Eiserman wants to really push for it, I guess we'll see.
Brady Martin's gonna have a second farm in Nashville in a few years, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a great pick by Nashville. I think
Yeah,
he's like a Barry Trotz type of player, and hard work, grit, big. So I think
farm boy.
Nashville's gonna like that guy at
Yeah,
fifth overall, I think.
yeah, fifth overall. Nashville's gonna love him being a farm boy too. There's lots of farms, lots of ranches out in Nashville. That Tennessee lifestyle outside of the city, off Broadway. Once you get outside of downtown, there is a lot of that out there. So yeah, good pick by them. But everything. I mean, Michael Misa goes at 2 to San Jose. You kind of expected that after New York Islanders pick Schaefer. Great pick by them. I think he's gonna play really really well with Celebrini and Will Smith. Here's where it gets hairy to me. Besides Brady Martin, good pick for Nashville, but 3-4 Frondell and Day, is it Day 1A, or I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. I've heard it like 3 different times. But Chicago taking Frondell. I thought if they were going to take anybody besides Hagens, it was going to be Martone. Uh, Everyone has a lot of great things to say about Frondell. I think they needed a center, so clearly it looks like they're going to move Bedard to the wing.
Mhm.
Um, and then Utah, I thought Hagens would have been a perfect fit for Utah, being able to play with Gunther and Cooley and now Paterka. They just got Paterka from Buffalo, so Utah was kind of loading up on those skilled guys. What are your thoughts on those two picks and kind of Hagens dropping down to 7?
Yeah, I mean, after the first two picks, I feel like those were kind of locks with Schaefer and Misa, and
Yeah,
nobody knew who was going, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I was definitely really interested in seeing how everything would fall, and it seemed like there were a lot of rumors that Frondell was going to go third to Chicago, and that ended up happening. So they got a big, strong Swede that can play center, and he's a lefty, so he'll be able to play well with Bedard if Bedard moves to the wing. And um, definitely surprising that Hagens slipped all the way to 7. I think he was kind of the consensus first overall pick going into this year, and for whatever reason, I guess his numbers weren't great. You look at the line that he was playing on with Boston College, and he really should have lit it up a little bit more. You look at Will Smith last year, how well he did playing with those line mates, and then Hagens comes in and plays with the same line mates and I think Will Smith had like 71 points, and Hagens only had like 36 or maybe 38. So it's quite a big difference, what they were expecting with him, and I think he could be a steal of the draft at 7.
yeah, it's that's a massive pick for Boston. I think a lot of the teams that didn't take him are going to live to regret it, but it'll be interesting to see how he plays next year. it would have been great to see him in Nashville too. But like we both said, kind of Brady Martin was a perfect fit for Nashville, and Frondell and Dewaney at 3 and 4. It would be interesting to see how they play. I think Porter Martone in Philly is a good pick for them, even though
Yeah.
it would have been great to see Hagens play with Zegras too. Now that they just got Zegras, but
Hmm.
I think he plays a Philly style of hockey. He's a big body, which they need. Zegras is kind of a smaller body, so I think that's a good fit for Philly there as well.
Yeah, Tockett's gonna love him. And then you sent me that they signed a UFC fighter to teach everybody how to
Yeah,
fight. So they need some big tough guys in Philly.
yeah, that was hilarious when I saw that. I sent that to you right away. Um, so that's some Philly style hockey right there too.
Oh yeah, 100%. That Roger McQueen, he snuck into the top 10, eh? He
Yeah,
was hurt most of the year, so good to see him go. Western boy, big guy.
yeah. Did you see Anaheim flew him right out to Disneyland right after in a helicopter?
That was sick.
I
Right
thought that
up
was
to the
hilarious.
rooftop helicopter, go to Disneyland.
I thought that was hilarious.
What'd you think of all the celebrities making all the picks? I feel like the Adam Sandler one was pretty good, but the other ones were pretty questionable.
Yeah, it was very. I don't think like I get their what they were probably trying to do, especially with it being decentralized. But it was also like, do you need every single team in the first round at every pick to have someone special uh, making the picks? Like, no, I don't think so. But it kind of and then that plus the interviews, like after it was like it just made it drag on too long. Like I was getting my hair cut, and by the time I got home, we were still not even past the top 11.
Yeah, it took
It
a
was
while even, yeah, to get through the top 15. It was like, okay, every pick should probably they have a 3 minute clock, but every pick took at least, 20, 25 minutes each pick, it felt like.
Yeah, because they introduce the person, they come up, they make a little speech. Like I thought Ronick went on a little bit too long. I'm like, Ronick, just come on, like make the number 3 here. What do you?
He likes the camera.
I thought he was gonna start telling more hot tub stories, get himself in trouble again or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of great stuff for the draft. I mean, the Islanders made more moves. They made a trade with I think it was Montreal and ended up getting the 18 or sorry the where was it 16 and 17 before before Calgary picked Reshny, the Islanders picked Victor Eklund and Kashan Aitchison. Heard a couple things about Kashan from kind of an insider in the OHL that I thought I tweeted out, I was like, man, this kid has his best dress at the draft. He had a sick pink suit. And then I hear that he may not be the best kid. He kind of can be kind of a bully to his teammates. He was very, very good on camera, had a great interview. And the person that I spoke to, they're like, it's all fake. Like he put on this facade. Apparently the had called them about him, and they were like, there's something up about this kid. Like there's something that's not adding up in his interviews. And they're like, yeah, it's all an act.
He must have that media training or, something going on in the background where if the cameras are on, he acts a certain way, and when he's with his teammates, he's just a complete D-bag the other way.
Yeah, and like his media training is clearly great because had me fooled, and he was great on camera. I was like, this kid could get some brand deals. He can get endorsements. Like he looks great on camera. He talks great on camera. And if it's all an act, I mean, he's a hell of an actor. That's for sure.
Sounds like he should be a car salesman or something.
Yeah, maybe he'll get a Netflix special or something if he's that good of an actor. Anything else in the draft that caught your eye? I don't think we need to go through every single player, but any other big ones that stuck out to you?
No, I mean, I wish there was more trades. There wasn't a
Yeah,
lot of big action. There was a couple big trades before the draft with Noah Dobson and going to Montreal, but
yeah,
I think we'll see more stuff. There was like crazy rumors that Crosby was getting traded to Colorado,
yeah. They had me
and
fooled there too.
and you could see Nate McKinnon in the comments like fake news, and then Crosby's agent came out saying like this is not true.
Oh, did
So
he?
I don't know
Okay.
where they were getting their info from, but would have been cool to see a big trade like that go down.
because yeah, I texted you. I was on my way home when I started seeing those rumors floating around when Chicklets had posted one, and it's like, yeah, Chicklets will obviously they'll play into stuff a little bit. I mean, anyone will to get clicks, and Chicklets likes to joke around. And then when Kevin Weeks started tweeting about it or making posts about
Yeah.
it that they were resharing, I was like, this is getting a little bit weird here. And I did see Nate in the comments too saying fake news. I was like, does he just not know? Like, it does make sense if Crosby was gonna leave the Penguins, it would probably be to play with Nate. But also, like, I can't really see him leaving the Pens. Yeah, it's that was kind of funny. It was an insane rumor going around for sure.
Yeah, maybe Dubas was just playing around with some of these reporters just to see who the leak was and who had tweeted out. I think
Yeah,
Frank Severali was saying stuff. I think Kevin Weeks. Obviously the Spit and Chiclet boys, the rumor boys, they always kind of pile on after some other reporters say stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty wild stuff in Pittsburgh.
And that would have been an insane trade if they traded Crosby at the draft. I saw one tweet that made me laugh. They're like Crosby's so polite. If he was getting traded, he'd wait till after the draft to make the announcement.
Yeah,
Which is
good
kind of funny.
Canadian boy.
Good Canadian boy. Day two of the draft is going on right now, so we'll probably be able to cover that next week. But the potential CBA has been signed, and a lot of changes come into the NHL. One of the ones on the top is an 84 game season instead of an 82. So they're going to add 2 regular season games and take away some of the preseason games is what I'm hearing. And then also kind of going with that, they're not allowing fitness testing at training camp or during the regular season anymore in the
Love to
NHL,
see that.
which
Love
is
to see that.
which
Yeah, they might just do like a body fat test and that's all you need.
I think that's insane. You can probably go into this better because you're a player's perspective. But for me, I'm like, you're going to the NHL. You got to show up in shape, and like they should be able to test you to make sure you're showing up in shape.
Yeah, Rod Brindamore is not going to be happy in Carolina that they
No,
can't test all the boys.
yeah, and like having a massive training camp like where you just kill the guys. That's like one thing. Maybe some of those you need to tone back, but not being able to test them, not being able to have a
Yeah.
fitness test to see where everybody's at is crazy. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think if you're going to do the fitness testing, it should be like league wide. Everybody kind of do the same. I feel like in Europe they've done really well with there's like everybody does the same bike test, everybody does the same like heart rate thing and just to like mainly see if you're healthy.
Right,
Obviously, there's like little things when you do your physical that you have to be able to do and doing these bike tests and doing these EKGs and doing all that makes a lot of sense. But I think like killing a guy on the ice, the way Torts does, where you're skating as fast as you can, doing laps, stops and starts. You're killing your groins, you're killing your body before the season even starts. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I'm glad that they're shortening preseason because preseason doesn't make sense to me. I think you should be able to play 2 or 3 games before the season and basically be ready. You're training year round. Players are skating year round, so you're pretty much ready to play right away. It doesn't take long. So I think 84 games still is a little bit too much when you're playing every other day like that. I think Europe's better in that sense where you're only playing 52 games, maybe 2 games a week is good, especially when guys are getting older and you don't want guys getting hurt, but at the same time, the owners gotta fill the seats and pay their bills. So 84 games is it's a long season, but less preseason makes sense to me.
yeah. What do you think in terms of the preseason though? Like getting the younger guys in there, like is that going to be not going to give as much opportunity for some of these draft picks that won't play their first year or two, but it still gives them kind of a little bit of more experience, like at the pro level, like if they're coming out of junior or coming out of NCAA, like yeah, they'll be playing against a lot of other guys in the same position, but there's some vets mixed in there, and you're playing in the big arena, you're getting a little bit of a taste of what it's like at the pro level.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot away from some of the lower end prospects. They're not going to get their time to shine, but even if they scored a hat trick or played their best games ever, they're not making the team. So
True.
I think training camp should be shortened. You should only have your top prospects there that actually have a chance to make the team. And then you have some of your, veteran AHL guys that have a chance to make the team. And those are the guys that are going to get games. And if you don't get games during the preseason, you better have a good start to the season and, find a way to get called up another way because normally you play the 8 to 9 preseasons. The first few games, it's heavy rookie based, and um, players show up well, but they still have no chance of making the team. So
Yeah.
it's probably better that way.
Yeah, that's fair. Another thing, contracts going down from re-signs are going down from 8 years to 7 years, and then uh, normal free agency going down to 6 years. So lower contracts now, or less term in the contracts, I should say, now with the new CBA as well.
Yeah, I heard the guys talking on game notes about it. Like the players that get the 8-year contracts, I think there's only like 70 or 80 out of however many. I think there's like 700 players that get to play in a season in the NHL with call-ups and stuff. So it doesn't affect it, it's 10%. So you lose a year, and it might be a little bit better for the teams because it's usually those 7, 8 years, that seventh or eighth years, that kind of a lot of the guys end up getting bought out or get traded or whatever it is. So it's probably good overall. I think 8-year contracts are kind of crazy. It's funny looking back when there was 14-year contracts and
Yeah,
12-year contracts, and now it just keeps going down and down. But you look at Matthews, he's been signing like 5-year deals and then getting even more money after that. And McDavid, we'll see what he does if he takes the 8 years or signs a 3 or 4 year deal. So I think if you bet on yourself, a lot of times it pays off. For some guys it didn't. I think like Taylor Hall, he tried betting on himself for a couple
yeah.
years and has bounced around to a lot of different teams, and he probably could have just signed a long-term deal in Boston or New Jersey and got paid and took the 8 years. But
Especially after
that
he
kind
won the
of
Hart.
goes either way.
Especially after he won the Hart. Hey.
Yeah, it's yeah, some players it definitely doesn't work out, but
Yeah.
I think Marner's he's kind of talking about signing like a 2 or 3 year deal.
Wow.
So everybody knows the cap just keeps going up, and if you have a couple good years, you could be making that big 15 mil, 17 mil range.
Speaking of contracts, they're standardizing the draft pick rights now too. So it used to, until so the draft pick rights will be until players turn 22. So it's kind of a more clear overall general rule rather than the for juniors they were able to hold players for 2 or 3 years depending on their age, and then college it was for all 4 years of their eligibility. So now it's a standard right until a player is 22. So which kind of I think that kind of makes it a little bit easier to track overall for some of these teams and kind of track their development and kind of figure out where guys are going to go and when.
Yeah, because you look at a guy like Cole Reshney, who just is it Cole Reshney that just got drafted? He's
Yeah,
going to North Dakota.
yeah,
So yeah, like now he has the full 4 years to go play college, develop. Let's say he has like 2 or 3 really good years, might leave early and sign. So, it, and normally you look at the college or the CHL guys, you only have a couple years to you can sign, and then by the time you're 19, 20, you really have to make the decision. So you get an extra couple of years maybe to try college or um, you know stay in junior for a little bit longer, get ready, get ripened, and then you can turn pro when you're 22 and ready to turn pro.
now they're gonna make e-bugs a full-time traveling position now too. Did you see that?
Yeah, I wonder what type of guys they're gonna sign for that. Like it's just gonna be ex AHL, NHL, like guys that are 35 to 40 that can kind of hang out, be good guys in the locker room, probably
Ca-
practice quite a bit when the starter doesn't want to practice. And
carry the pucks.
I wonder how much they're going to be making. You get probably 100 grand or 150 or something to be an e-bug.
Yeah, because that'll be interesting, especially seeing as they won't be like a full roster player, so I guess they won't fit into the league minimum. Hey,
Yeah,
you're not
probably
gonna have
not.
e-bugs
I'd be
making a
trying to
million
sign
dollars.
like Henrik Lundqvist or somebody as my e-bug. Might put
Flurry,
him in. Might
bring
put him in the odd night.
bring Flower in.
Yeah, Flower would be a perfect one.
LTIR is one of the bigger ones on the CBA as well. So they're changing the LTIR playoff rule. I've kind of seen different things about it. I don't think any of this is official yet. What's been released, but basically I've seen they're gonna have like a 20-man roster for the playoffs that has to be under the specific cap, and but you can change guys in and out from game to game. So, I mean, I think this is a dumb rule. Like you just like the fact that they change it. I mean, I think it's silly, just because all these teams have been whining and bitching for the last since Tampa and the Florida team started winning. But like Chicago did it when they were a dynasty. Like it's not a new thing that's been going on. I think the NHL is catering too much to people that are whining. It's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably about time that they had some sort of clarification or some sort of rule, but it will be weird, going into the Stanley Cup Finals and you're thinking of like, oh, I got to play this $7 million player, I got to play this $7 million player, like
Yeah,
kind of transferring in, like you're gonna need a good capologist to figure out all that stuff, and some guys are gonna get healthy scratch in the playoffs just because of playoff reasons. So that'll be strange to see.
yeah. I think it's silly. Like I don't know, man. It's just because some teams don't want to play the game, like they want to whine about it instead. Like how about you just play the game? Like you take if it's
Yeah,
there, utilize it. But another one, no more dress codes for the players. I think that's the last one on
yeah.
this list, unless I'm missing one. But what are your thoughts on that? It's kind of going in the direction of the NBA. You've seen kind of some teams implementing, less strict dress codes. Hockey has always been like a suit and tie sport, which I like. Like I like going to the rink in suit and tie. I liked when I was scouting and traveling with teams, going putting the suit and tie on when I was playing and stuff. So it's what are your thoughts on that? I think that they do less of that in Europe though. Hey, like it's not a suit and tie type of dress code over
No,
in Europe.
like
Just
on the road, we're in tracksuits pretty much,
yeah,
or like hoodie and warrior pants kind of thing. But um, during the home games, it's business casual. Like you have to look good. A lot of guys wear suits in the playoffs and stuff. So
yeah,
I think you're still going to see a lot of players wearing suits, especially to the games, and it might lighten a little bit on the plane rides and walking around the city. When you're down in Florida, you're probably gonna want to be wearing shorts and stuff. Maybe not shorts
yeah.
to the game, but give the players a little bit more freedom. But I still think that history of the NHL still being really classy and wearing suits, you're gonna see a ton of guys still wearing them.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be wearing them like on the planes and shit. Like just for the camera, like because guys are. I mean, you could probably speak to it better than I can because you've been on the planes. But like guys are probably just taking the suits off on the plane anyway, or change into a tracksuit, and then when the cameras are back out, put the jacket back on or whatever. It's like
Yeah. I
yeah,
still think it'll be like kind of team to team, like
yeah,
the captains or the assistants will come up with, you still want guys to kind of, look a certain way and everybody kind of look the same, like look like a team. But I don't know if the coaches will decide that, the teams, but for sure, league wide, it's not mandatory to wear a suit. So we'll see what each team comes up with.
the Panthers are just gonna start going full Miami Vice.
Yeah, that would be sweet. I think Kachuk will have everybody wearing the uh, WWE wrestling things to all the games. You get the belts out, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Matthews will come up with some good outfits and stuff, but
Could you could you
majority
ima-
of guys are still gonna wear suits.
Could you imagine if they started doing that as defending champs, just carrying the belt to every game, just to remind
That would be
everybody? That would
sweet.
be hilarious. I don't think Paul Maurice would like that too much. Paul Maurice is
No.
still kind of like he has a lot of traditional stuff left in him. Yeah, obviously, like he gives the team a lot of leeway. Like in the playoffs, there he was like, I'm not even coaching them anymore. They're just out there doing what I know they can do. But
Mhm.
I think he would kind of ring the boys in a little bit if they started going a little bit too far.
Yeah. I mean, it's still your job. It's still business. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe regular season, there might be some games where it's like a little more relaxed and guys can have a little bit more fun. But come playoff time, I think, it's all business. It's your job. You need to be looking good, feeling good to play good. So
yeah,
guys are going to be still dressing up and looking good. It's the
yeah.
NHL and it's just the way the boys are born and bred.
I wonder if anyone's gonna start wearing more ice, more bling, some chains mixed in there like the NBA, like football and stuff like that. I don't know a lot of hockey players that could probably pull that off, but there's definitely some guys with good style out there that could pull off some more blingy, some more bedazzled attire.
Yeah, I could see that. I like the throwback stuff, like guys wearing like Kobe or MJ shirts or,
Yeah.
you know, a historic like NHL player or whatever, something different like that. But we'll see how crazy they get.
Before we head out, quick shout out here to Legion. I've been crushing these energy drinks that came in the last few days. They're delicious. I got orange creamsicle here, super healthy too. No sugar, still a lot of caffeine, which I gotta watch. But
That sounds unreal. Orange
it's
creamsicle?
yeah, it's good. It's not like the inauthentic like chemically taste that some energy drinks give you. It's like you can taste the orange, but it's not just pure sugar, so it's not gonna give you like not gonna make your stomach upset. Tastes really good. Their proteins taste really good. I've been trying a bunch of their different stuff lately. Shout out Legion. I still got to get you your. I have a box full of Legion supplements for you for before you take back off to Europe.
Yeah, I
I
gotta
gotta
get my
give you
creatine and my creatine gummies and the fish oils and everything. So
protein. You got
get
two
all
bags of
stocked
protein.
up before I go to Slovenia.
Yeah, you got 2 bags of protein that you gotta take with you too. So it'd be great to
Yeah.
get your input on that. Kalshi, I've been looking at Kalshi. There hasn't been a since the NBA and the NHL finals kind of ended up. I've been trying to get back on Kalshi some more, see what's on here. A lot of UFC stuff coming up tonight, but I think that this podcast is going to come out Sunday, so this will be uh, over with. But Jake Paul's fighting tonight. I don't know if you knew that. I think a
Who's
lot
he
of people.
fighting?
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So he's a kind of legendary boxer, but again, older guy, much out of his prime. But he's probably the first real boxer that Jake's fought besides Tyson.
Right.
But again, older guy. Kalshi's got Jake Paul 82% winning
82%.
this,
Jeez. We might have to
but
throw a little bit of money on that.
might have to throw a little bit of money on it. But not a lot of people even realize he was fighting. Like I think his boxing lore is diminishing a little bit just because he has been, some of these events have been a little bit less satisfying, if you want to put it, than some of them. Like the Tyson fight was, everyone is excited for it. It was on Netflix, and then it was just it was pretty boring, to
So
be
this
honest.
one's not on Netflix?
This one's back on DAZN.
Okay.
Yeah, not on Netflix for this one. But yeah, Kalshi's got him at 82%. And then UFC Topuria versus Oliveira tonight. That's a big one. Kalshi's got Ilya Topuria at 77%, which I think it's a big size difference. But yeah, check out Kalshi if you're a UFC fan in the US. They've got some crypto stuff on there too. It's just fun to look at, even if you're not putting in predictions. Kind of see where things are at. We keep watching the crypto. Will Bitcoin hit 150K? How high will it get this year? It's a lot of fun to look at that. But Chucky, anything else in the sports world or in the hockey world that you want to cover? Anything else from the draft or from the NHL that you had pop up?
No, I keep seeing like notifications on my phone. They're saying like Gibson might get traded to the Wings, and with draft round two today, there's going to be so much action. So we'll have lots to talk about next week, especially with free agency coming on Tuesday. And
Mm.
um, I'm sure the summer will go by quick. We'll get some good guests on, and
Sorry to interrupt. Breaking news while we're on here. I just saw Elliot Friedman post. Spittin' Chickens just posted as well. Anaheim traded John Gibson to Detroit, returned his Peter Mrazek and 2 picks.
wow, Gibson finally gets traded.
Yeah,
That's
to
been a long
Detroit.
time coming.
To Detroit of all places, because wasn't it rumored that he was going somewhere else?
Maybe Edmonton.
So that's interesting. For Mrazek,
Yzerman, Yzerman gets their goalie.
breaking news. A little bit of breaking news to end the show.
Yeah,
It won't be breaking when we release it tomorrow, but
no, for
but
sure. No,
good for
there'll
good.
be lots to talk about in the next couple of weeks with
Yeah,
signings and trades, and there's not a lot of events to watch, but we'll check out the political stuff on Kalshi and crypto, and we'll be eating our legion for sure.
yeah. And speaking of that, shout out to Larry Flowers who made it back to the U.S. safely. He got out of Tel Aviv, spent a couple of days in Italy after a few days of trying to get out of there. Every time he was getting on the plane, they were having the sirens were going back off. They had to get underground. So he's finally back in Beverly Hills, back in L.A., back at work. So if you're in LA, any of the players out there listening, if you're looking for a nice luxury timepiece, Rolex, Audemars, any of that, or if you're getting engaged like Chucky over here, Larry Flowers has some dope engagement rings. So check out Larry Flowers. Glad to have him
Yeah,
back home.
happy he's safe. Happy he got out of there.
All right. We will, like Chucky said, lots to go over in the next few weeks as free agency gets going on July 1st. Hopefully by next week we'll see where Marchand's going, and we'll see where some of these other players end up as well. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.